What you're seeing here is a little bit more than a war of words. Believe it or not, this is a loophole to keep yourself out of trouble in China. What on earth are we looking at here? Is this a new form of Kung Fu, Spit Fu? Is this a new form of Chinese martial arts? No, this is a classic spit fight, and it's something that's been around for quite a while in China. Before we jump into the world of spit fighting, a quick word from today's sponsor. What is more sinister than a room full of used car salesmen and door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesmen? Data brokers. All jokes aside, guys, data brokers are pretty bad. They have lists which contain all of your personal information, your name, and they sell it. They sell it to advertisers, and well, they'll sell it to just about anyone. You probably wonder where all your junk mail comes from. I mean, why does this random company know my name and they're now sending something to my address in my mailbox? I've never interacted with them before. I don't know who they are. Well, data brokers are to blame. The same reason why you get targeted adverts popping up on your computer. And you know what? It's not your fault. When you browse the internet, when you click on accept a cookie, when you sign up for some or other service in a shop, your data gets sold to data brokers, and data brokers then sell it to other people. But there is a way to get your name and personal information removed off of these lists, and that is Incogni. You see, they do the fancy footwork and all the hard work for you. There are thousands of data brokers out there, and for you to go after each one and legally request for your name to be removed would be incredibly time-consuming and costly. But Incogni does it for you. You give them permission, and then they will, on your behalf, send legal letters to all of these different data brokers to get your personal data removed. If you're tired of junk mail and you want to get rid of all these targeted adverts and take your privacy back, go to incogni.com/Winston. First 100 people to use the code Winston will get 60% off Incogni. Protect your privacy today. Go to incogni.com/Winston and use the code Winston to take your personal data off the market. And now back to the show. Just like everywhere in the world, in China, things aren't always peachy. People have disagreements all the time. People have arguments all the time. And people have altercations all the time. There is one big difference though, and it's called the broken vase or broken vase scam. And this is something you have to watch out for in China. It happens a lot, you know, people pretending to get hurt and then suing you for a huge amount of money and medical bills and that kind of thing. And in fact, it is a big issue, so much so that it shaped society in a way that good Samaritans are very hard to come by. It's quite tragic, actually. But I'll explain it to you. If there is an altercation and somebody gets hurt, let's just say fists come out and someone gets punched and the person gets knocked out or gets an injury, that person by law will win. So what's going to happen next is the person who injured that person is going to have to pay a hefty medical bill and all sorts of damages, and it might be something they have to pay off for the rest of their life, depending on the severity of it. And so, of course, it's always bigged up in a massive way. If someone stubs their toe, they look like a professional soccer player all of a sudden, rolling around on the ground, pretending it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them in their life. Because they're trying to get that sweet, sweet money, that compensation money. And it's just something you never want to get embroiled in China. That's also why you see these crazy arguments where people like these Ais over here are jumping up and down. Ai, by the way, means auntie, are jumping up and down, screaming at each other, pointing fingers. But of course, no one actually lays a finger on each other because they know if they actually end up hitting the person laying a finger on them, there's a chance they're paying a huge amount of compensation for who knows how long. So, this is where spit fights come in. You see, spitting on someone is not really seen as laying a finger on them. And of course, it's double effective because we all know with COVID and communicable disease spreading in China, it happens a lot. And spitting on someone is a way to potentially harm them anyway through the spread of disease. So it really is a form of potentially really hurting someone, also, I don't know, doing something really disgusting to them and not having to worry about being sued for injuring them. And that's why I have so much footage of this happening. Now, please, this isn't something that happens all the time in China everywhere. Not everyone in China is having spit fights left and right, but as you can see, it definitely is something that happens, and it definitely is a loophole to get away from the idea of paying compensation and damages to somebody because you got into an actual physical altercation. I just thought it was something kind of interesting to talk about because it does explain a certain part of Chinese society. This awful part of Chinese society that prevents good Samaritans from really stepping forward, and that is the fear of being embroiled in this horrible type of situation where you have to pay for someone else and their medical bills and their compensation for a very long period of time. And this is what stops people from stepping in to help when someone's injured on the road, because there have, unfortunately, been many examples where someone has tried to help someone and they've sued them, saying it was them that caused the injury, and won. And so innocent people have had to pay medical bills and compensation to people, even though they did nothing. And that's why people don't really want to step in. And that's also why these ridiculous spit fights and shouting matches and stuff exist in China. Just before we finish off, I have to drive the point home that Chinese people also find this really gross and hilarious and bizarre too, and in fact even do parodies of this sometimes, like this following video. I hope you've learned something interesting, perhaps bizarre, about Chinese society today. The broken vase scam or broken vase scam really is a big issue in China still to this day, and it really has shaped society in a certain way. And again, this is just one of those very interesting and bizarre results. So until next time, you know the drill. Stay awesome. Try not to get into a spit fight with anyone. And I'll see you on the next one. Also, don't forget to check out my Friday show. It's my live show where we talk about everything that's new in China, up-to-date news and soft power hour and all these other interesting things that are happening. It's fun. We have a lot of laughs. There's a lot of comedy in there. There's a lot of realism. There's a lot of everything. Something for everyone, I would hope. I hope to see you there. Check it out. Link is below. And until I see you next time, guys, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome. Hey! 来啊来啊来啊！你他妈的，我跟你说，你要小小，你要小小，再踢一下，退，来，再踢一下，退，嘿，退，你要小小，回去了，你要小小，兄弟，哎呀，好了好了好了。